Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. I had done a video yesterday on this Poulan Pro. It happens to be a 2015. I picked this up from the scrapper that only does it a couple days a week. He's a retiree. He just scraps for extra money. So we had looked this thing over. It's got potential, a lot of potential. This will be a good seller. It's not in bad shape. It just needs some love. I gave $10 for it. So I happened to drive out there in my CRV. I wasn't expecting to buy other goodies, but I did find some other stuff on his trailer. So I paid him for everything, and then I just got back a little bit ago with the other goodies. So we'll go through the list of what I bought. I stopped at a yard sale on the way home and ended up buying some stuff. Went to Harbor Freight as well. We'll discuss that. So I've been driving around today and not really fixing anything, but I'm going to get after it right after I send you kids on your merry way. So on the yard sale deal, I ended up with this little benchtop drill press. What I assume from the yard sale, it was it looked like the daughter and her husband was selling stuff, and the daughter's dad was there. He had a table full of stuff he was dumping. So when I got there, the dad was packing up a bunch of Christmas stuff. He said he was heading to Goodwill, and if I saw anything to make an offer, he didn't want to load it all back up. So I offered him 20 for this, and he took it. So this is just a cheap Chinese drill press. When I see the label like this, I know 5-speed drill press. I can just tell by the label it's a China-made machine. It's not a Rockwell by any means. But for 20 bucks, I'm not going to squawk. He said he had it running a year ago, but he's got a full-size drill press. He didn't need this smaller one. So I got the chuck with it. I asked him if he wanted the drill bit. He said no, so I got the drill bit for free. So I've got a couple of quantum engines that I think this is going to be helpful with, because I broke off one stud out of the 3 on the engine bolts, and I think I can manipulate it in here. I think there's enough clearance where I can drop my table down to the bottom, or actually swing the table to the outside. This table rotates. That would be my table at the bottom. So I think there's enough clearance here to put an engine block upside down and drill the living crap out of it. All I've got now is like a 1/2 horsepower handheld and Ryobi 12-volt portable drill set with the saw, the skill saw, all that jazz. So this will be a little bit beefier, and 20 bucks, I can't go wrong. I kind of wasn't interested, but he said he'd make an offer. I don't want to haul this stuff a second time. I figured 20 bucks, I can't go wrong. So this is definitely a Harbor Freight type machine. I remember years ago, there was this traveling tool sale type deal. Homier, if you guys remember that company, they were out of the Midwest. Harbor Freight was in business, but they were in California, and they would just strictly mail order. I had been ordering stuff from Harbor Freight, but once a year, this Homier would rent the Civic Center parking lot, or the Veterans of Foreign War. They would set up in their parking lot for like 3 days, 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then they would travel for a couple days to the next big city and then set up a tent and put all their China crappy tools. I've bought a lot of crappy tools from Homier. I'm sure Harbor Freight has put them out of business. Homier. They were my once a year go to for crap. And I would always be excited when I saw the big tents set up in the parking lot. I knew I was in for a treat with a bunch of crappy junk at reasonable prices and wide selection. So this was that garden cart I mentioned yesterday. I gave $5 for it. I saw this on the back of his trailer, and I thought of my son. I'm still working with him on the trash pump, that Harbor Freight Predator brand pump. What the issue is I really didn't know the setup until I got there. The pit is actually close to 6 feet deep. I didn't know it was that deep, and it's very shallow with water and mud at the bottom. The issue is that Predator is so damn strong at sucking the water up before you get a chance to scoop up any of the mud. So I gotta try to figure out something to rectify that with. So I thought putting it on this and moving around would be easier than that little four-wheel caster thing I have it on. So gave 5 for it. He was happy. This thing doesn't weigh a lot, and I'm sure he wouldn't have got much for scrap. So whoever had it just didn't want to go down to Harbor Freight and buy tires, I'm assuming. I didn't know the value of this thing, but when I was at Harbor Crap, they were $179 for this hunk of junk. There's not much steel here. 4 crappy wheels. They're really socking it to you on this hunk of junk that rusts in about 3 days if you leave it outside. So luckily with the coupon, these were regular $8.99. I got them for $4.99. So for about 25 bucks, 20 for the wheels and 5 for the cart itself, I got a functioning utility wagon. So I'll oil this up. Probably won't paint it. I already threw one of the tires on that I had off. The only deal is it came with black rims, and the white rims are on sale today. So I kind of modified the color scheme. So we had a couple of beach bikes. It's out of season. I probably shouldn't have bought them, but I told him $5 each. He said, "How about 7.50 each?" So I ended up taking them for cheap. This one looked good, really shiny paint. The soft handlebars, I cut the grips, I cut them off. They were like the gel type things, and they were all moldy and cracking. So I bought a bunch of these from AliExpress, green stripe and red stripe. These are just foam all the way through. They fit perfectly on these beach cruisers, so it'll go out the door with a set of new foam handlebars. These are only like $1.25 or $1.50 for a pair. So it really helps sell the bike. You got some new grips instead of the moldy original soft grips on it. I took some light sandpaper to this. When I send you kids home, I'm going to primer gray this and leave it primer gray, the rusty chrome here. What I did to the white walls, I just took some 50/50 water and Dollar Tree bleach, mixed up a little bit in this spray bottle, and just sprayed the white walls, let it sit for a minute, scrubbed it down with a brush, and then just hosed it off. It's not perfect, but it got rid of the lot of dirt and mold on the white walls. So this happens to be the Legacy model by Schwinny. This is the Huffy. I've sold a couple of these Nellusos. And he kind of started to doctor this up. He gave me the two original tires for it, but as you can see, this thing was sitting in the dirt. The tires were here, ended up flattening out. A lot of dirt here where they were sitting on the ground. So these are shot. I can't do anything with these. He had a couple of tires and another rim. This rim does not belong to the bike. He gave me the original rim. So what I'm going to do is make a match. This happens to be a front tire on the rear. This knobby should be on the back. The back tire should be the knobby, so they're backwards. I'm going to dismount it from the gold rim and do some modification. Throw another set of foam handlebars on this one. Same thing, I'll lightly sand this rust, spray paint it primer gray, and demold this one too. This one here was definitely sitting outside with all that mold. Very humid in Florida. Anything outside that's not in climate control gets moldy. Bicycle is no exception. So I've got a couple of beach bikes advertised now, and it's just too damn hot. It's 95, high humidity. The only people that are on bikes are homeless people. That's how they get around on one of these cheap cruisers. Nobody else is on a bicycle. Speaking of heat, time to hydrate. Having a little bit of H2O. Working in the shade. So the yard sale gentleman also had some other stuff, some tools that I really wasn't interested in, but I had seen the grease, and I always can use grease, and maybe half a container of hand cleaner. He took the lid off of this coffee can. He said, I got some washers, one big rusty ball, and some heavy duty washers, nuts and bolts, temperature sending unit. I can run that number and see what that goes to. Some big stuff. Probably too big for the lawn mowers, but if I've got a rusty hyper tough deck, some of these big washers can help me out. If the axle area is rusted through, sometimes I can put a big washer and salvage the job where the crack is. So I've got plenty of junk like this, all in coffee cans. So now I got another coffee can full of junk. I gave $5 for everything. He seemed to be happy, so he made some money. Probably would have brought this stuff to Goodwill too, anything that he didn't sell. So that's the story. That's the story. Couple of bikes, the garden cart, which I think was a good deal for 25. This Poulan Pro looks pretty good for 10. And the Homier / Harbor Freight drill press. I thought that was a magnet at first, but no. I wonder if they even say what the horsepower is. I was trying to look at the motor. 1/2-inch drilling bit, 5-speed. Manufactured 11th month of 2005. Serial number. Oh, here's a date. 2007. It must have sat in a container ship somewhere. So it's got speeds 3070 RPM, it looks like, for 5-speed. The number 1 speed 760 RPM. It says spindle speed. UL rated, so I won't shock myself. Let me just kind of looked at the motor. I didn't see any sticker on it. What do you guys think? 1/4 horsepower? Yeah, there's no tag on it. So once this thing blows up, this is going in the scrap pile, because finding another match for this is not going to be worth it. So it's a mystery. Maybe I can run the numbers here, do a Google search on this item number. Delta Paul 5 Mike Uniform Lima is the item number. That might give me a hit on something. Anyway, appreciate you coming out, checking out this stash of junk. As always, please like and subscribe, and tip your waitress and wait staff. They do an awesome job. They just want to make a couple extra bucks. Your tips will help them. Come back and see me. Thanks for coming out. Talk to you soon. Have a good day today.